They hating on camps, acting like women with periods and cramps but can never do what we do. It was never a part of the Most High's plan, so I understand that you as a man got a lot to go with the baby steps. You see we militant in every step, from state to state, I see and regret. Israelites coming through. Yeah, you feel the respect, so who is you testing? You're missing your blessings, they hating so hard, you're missing the lessons. I'm aiming the Western. Had all of the clans and all of their crews, avenging the bruise, they hunger slew. A message to heathens, we coming for you. I think to myself, why have compassion when I see their actions? They laughing at us and they glad they have us at the bottom, scrapping for the crunch for master. Broke the chains, now we calling our nation back to repentance, back to their essence, back to Yahweh, back to his laws and commandments. They wanna be us, but they can't. The wise grow when the seed is planted, go study the ants. The way they gather together and work as a team, I should holler my team. Extra clip with the beam. Niggas are selling their dream like they're making a scene. Always in drama, but not taking care of these seeds. But part of the game is that. Back in the days that would've got checked, now they cut them a check. To turn their backs and honor, respect, and morals. Don't believe what they tell you, do your due diligence. Mix intelligence with the elegance. When you do, someone consider it arrogant. I'm giving you game to put it in play. I'm feeling the rage of people enslaved. The cancerous world we see today is already written, it's part of the phase. But don't be phased, gotta be strong in this faith. Gotta continue and pray and fast in the love, cause I'm never cleaving the hate. Israel only, don't get it twisted. The other nations is on my hit list. I know they be mad whenever I spit this, but I hate them with a perfect hatred. Yeah, I rep the poor, so I'm rhyming for them. Anything else, I call it a sin. I shoot for the stars and aim to win. Shoot for the stars and aim to win. Shoot for the stars and aim to win. Anything else, I call it a sin. I shoot for the stars and aim to win. Tell them we ready for war, ready for war. Yeah, we ready for war. Tell them we ready for war, ready for war. Yeah, we ready for war. Tell them we ready for war, ready for war. Yeah, we ready for war. Tell them we ready for war, ready for war. Yeah, we ready for war.
And I beheld heaven open, and behold a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he's a judge and makes war. We are at
so
war.
You better lace your straps up.
Physical and spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps up.
Man the hell up this room.
This is war.
We are at war.
So you better lace your straps up.
And spiritual.
We're at war. So you better lace your straps up.
Big tanks, warships, and planted hands with small chips. North Korea, Russian spies, war is at our doorsteps. History doesn't lie, they beat the slaves with horse whips. So I think it's only right we pay them back with sword tips. End of time, spoken of, it's gonna get a little warm. Daniel 7 started 8, judgment of the little horn that beat us down, held us back, called us by obscenities. Prepare us a table in the presence of our enemies and pay them back. Worse than that, they argue that the earth is flat. Our babies dying, mothers crying, cities full of murdered blacks. Hispanics too, they hate you too. Edomites are not your friend. Harmless smile behind the scenes. They tracking you through iPhone 10 technologies, through policy. We served them since the colonies. This ain't our rest, my mind is right. This place is hell, I'm not at ease. I swore an oath with every breath. I promise to defend the law. Sword is sharpened, armored up. I'm calling for the men of war.
Dedication, a little inspiration.
One day, when the war is won, victory will be ours.
Victory's gonna be ours.
It'll be yours. One day, when the kingdom comes, it'll be yours. It'll be yours. It's a long way up, and a short way down. Just don't let nobody come and take your crown.
Don't take your crown.
Trying to make it through the system, but the doors are locked. The Most High got you covered. You're gonna rise to the top.
We're gonna rise, y'all.
This battle will bring victory. On with the greatest book in history. Jacob, you're great, it's no mystery.
Great.
Yeah, yeah. You know this battle has just begun.
Battle's just
Jacob,
begun.
you're hated by everyone.
All
But
nations
just remember
hate us.
you're the chosen son. Yeah, yeah.
This song is such an inspiration. We get the kingdom though there's much tribulation. Every day I send my prayers up. I even read where Yahweh said he'd raise us up. He gave Abraham the covenants. On the shoulders of Christ will rest the governments. The forces the nations gotta bring to me. The world is ours, our gates open continually. Praise Yahweh cause he gave us life, and sacrifice the reward as you could reign with Christ. Yeah, it's true, the Father made us sons to get a crown, then endure until the Savior comes. In the sight of God, no man is justified. To be approved, I read that gold must be tried. In the end, we're the greatest folks in history. Malachi sing to them about our victory.
This battle will bring victory.
We're gonna get the
On with the
victory.
greatest book in history.
Bible's the
Jacob,
greatest
you're great,
book.
it's no mystery. Yeah, yeah. You know this battle has just begun.
Battle has just
Jacob, you're
begun.
hated by everyone. But just remember you're the chosen son. Yeah, yeah.
We give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, for giving Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the covenants, and for choosing our nation. We appreciate that. Hope the song inspired you. Yeah.
Holy Ghost, the blessing. I said, oh, good God, my, yes, oh, glory. I said, oh, Jesus, oh, I see, come on, Holy Ghost, yes, yes, oh, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, oh, mama, yes, sir, yes, sir, hey, yes, sir, oh, yes, sir, mama, yes, sir, yes, sir, come on, yes, sir, you come on, mama, oh, yes, sir, hallelujah, yes, sir, my God, yes, sir.
Stay upon you. I pray the power of God all over you. I pray his favor. I pray the blood of Jesus will come upon you right now. Keep you in his hair. God, I thank you for your blessings.
Well, all right. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Yeah, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Let me jump on to Clubhouse real quick. The room is already in session, and I should have been in there already. Yeah, just give me 1 second. All right, all praise to the Most High.
Real quick, room's already in session. I should have been in there already. Let's give me 1 second.
All right, guys. All right. All right. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I want to say Ashar Shabbat, blessed Sabbath to everybody that's listening in to the show this morning. And we're going to get started. I want to get through the lesson, make sure I get through everything. It's not a terribly long lesson today, but, you know, every now and then it's good to go into prophecy. It's good to go into prophecy, right? So we understand what time we're living in, because our people have a tendency sometimes to fall asleep. You get a little comfortable, a little lackadaisical, for lack of a better word. So we got to light the proverbial fire under our people sometimes. I want to shout out everybody that's watching us on Lines of Israel class YouTube page. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment in the chat this morning saying shalom to your brothers and sisters. Let's trigger the algorithm so more people can come in. Of course, shout out to everybody that's watching on our other channel, Maccabeestv as well. Same thing, like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment, say shalom, good morning to your brothers and sisters. Let's trigger the algorithm. Shout out to my brother Nasiah for always offering his platform to us to be able to disseminate the word directly into people's homes. And last but definitely not least, shout out to my Clubhouse family. You guys know the drill. If you guys make sure you share and always ping people into the room. Today's lesson, I'll be showing a lot of videos. So you guys might want to actually click the link at the top of the room and come over to YouTube so you guys can watch along and follow along with us. We're just going to be all over the place today. We're just going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But of course, everything that we talk about is going to be related to the scriptures, if it be the will of the Most High and the Son. Before I get started, I do have Elder Zahab on the stage with me. So do you want to greet the people, Zahab? You have anything you want to say before we got into today's lesson?
Nah, first and foremost, Shah Shabbat, Barakatah Yahweh, Bashima Mashak Shai. Shout out to all the peoples out there, you know what I mean? Come to listen to the word of the Most High through the elder priest Danyaahla. That's pretty much it, man. I know there's a lot going on, man. I know you're going to touch on pretty much what's going on right now. You're right. Our people got a tendency of falling asleep, so I really ain't got nothing, man. I'm just ready to hear what you got to push out, man.
Yes, sir. All praise to the Most High. So without further ado, let me just change the view so that they can see the full screen, and we're gonna go ahead and get started without further ado.
Hey, priest, I thought you'd have had the Edomite King Donald Trump all on your page, brother, as your avatar, his mugshot.
I should have, right? I should have, man. But you know, I'm not even. I'm going in a completely different direction than probably you think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I got that. That's gonna be part 2. I got to talk about the Trump stuff and all that stuff like that. But I want to talk about some, a little bit of hidden stuff today that they're doing. That's kind of where I was going with it. But yeah, that Trump stuff is definitely serious. We got to talk about that for sure, which I think a lot of it is a distraction. We're going to actually touch on Trump a little bit early here in the PowerPoint anyway, but we'll get to it. So once again, family, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sharing, and, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the name of the PowerPoint lesson that we have today is called Winter is Coming. Winter is coming, right? Tokens of the End Times, volume number 1. That's what today's lesson is. A little bit of prophecy, delving a little bit into prophecy today. Let's go to the next slide. Now, for those of you that don't know, I think a lot of the brothers know, and some of the sisters know too. But for those of you that don't know, the title of the class was inspired from the TV show called Game of Thrones, right? For those of you that don't know what Game of Thrones is or what the plot of the series was about, I have a little bit on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and read it, right? Game of Thrones is roughly based on the storylines of a Song of Ice and Fire book series by George R.R. Martin, set in the fictional 7 kingdoms of Westeros and the continent of Essos. The series follows several simultaneous plot lines. The first story arc follows a war of succession among the competing claimants for control of the Iron Throne. The Iron Throne for today's lesson would be analogous to the throne of David. When you go and you read all throughout the books of Chronicles and Kings, and you read about all the different wars, David's own sons were fighting to be able to sit on the throne after David. They didn't want Solomon to be king. They wanted that throne, but that throne was for Solomon, and ultimately that throne belongs to Yahushua. So I'm going to make an analogy between the Iron Throne and Christ's throne, the throne of David, and that line of succession and all the tribulation and trouble that one has to go through in order for Christ to sit on his throne in the kingdom. That's the same thing you saw in the movie Game of Thrones. In order for someone to sit on the Iron Throne, you had all those successive wars for 8 seasons of different people, all vying to sit on the throne and rule the 7 kingdoms. That stuff is loosely based on the scriptures, whether you believe it or not. For control of the 7 kingdoms, while other noble families fighting for independence from the throne, the second concerns that the exile Scion's actions to reclaim the throne, and the third chronicles the threat of an impending winter, because winter was when that was going to be the ultimate war, the final war. And after that, you would have somebody sitting on the Iron Throne and they would rule the kingdom. Right now, we are going through, on a low level, it's going to get worse. We're going through our proverbial winter. Things are going to get really, really bad and chaotic. And these things have to happen. Prophecy must be fulfilled for Christ to come and sit on the throne of David in the kingdom. It's the same type of thing. It's the book of Luke, chapter 1, verses 31 to 33. It says, "And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and he shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David." But Christ is not just going to sit on the throne like that. Christ told the apostles they should, through much tribulation, enter the kingdom of heaven. Christ is not just going to come and sit on the throne. There's a lot of things that have to happen and take place first before the kingdom comes. Understand that, right? So let's go ahead and let's look at these classic scenes from the Game of Thrones, just so you guys can understand what it is I'm talking about. Check it out.
Winter is coming. Might just be the cold.
Winter is coming.
And this is a combination of people saying that phrase throughout the 8 seasons. For 8 seasons, they were prophesying that there was going to be a great battle, aka Armageddon. There was going to be a great battle that was going to ensue. And after that battle was over, it was going to be decided who would sit on the Iron Throne. Right? Let's go.
It's cold outside. You don't know cold. Winter is coming for him. It's either me or this cold, and it doesn't appear to be going anywhere.
And winter is coming. You look cold, boys.
It was a bit nippy.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
That's cold. Winter's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cold.
It's cold and it's wet.
Winter is coming.
You're crying because you're cold. You're a long way from home. Winter is coming.
I imagine you might be rather cold.
And winter is coming.
No, that's all right. I'm fine. You're not. You're freezing.
So understand, like I said, for 8 seasons, they were always talking about this great tribulation and great war that was getting ready to come. That's analogous or comparable to what we do. We go out on these highways and the byways. We're on YouTube. We're on Clubhouse. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And we teach and we prophesy and tell our people about the great tribulations that's going to come, and they don't want to listen. And we have to go through that to get the kingdom. So winter is coming. Winter is coming. Understand that. Let's go. Let's go to the next slide. Prophecy is essential, brothers and sisters. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See that thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. So when we teach the testimony of Christ, that is the same as the spirit of prophecy. The Bible is filled with prophecy from cover to cover, and it is our job to prophesy and tell our people what is about to happen and what they need to do to prepare themselves for what's about to happen and to be delivered. If you don't teach prophecy, you don't have the spirit of Christ. You don't. There's a balance to everything. We have to warn our people about what's coming. Christ warned the people about what's coming when you read the book of Luke chapter 21. He warned the people about Rome coming in and what to do when they saw Jerusalem compassed with armies. He told the people what was going to happen before it happened so that they could be prepared, so that they understood what they were looking at when these things begin to happen. It's the same thing with us. We have to prophesy. We need to let our people know what it is they're seeing when it comes by telling them about it before it happens. The majority of our people aren't going to listen. They're going to turn a blind eye. But we need to prophesy anyway, the same way the prophets of old did. Let's go on to the next slide. The Bible is the truth. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass. So there's many things that were written before the time of Isaiah that the Most High prophesied through prophets before him, and those things came to pass. And new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So prophecy means to say before. Before things happen, you're supposed to prophesy and let the people know what's going to happen. The Most High will tell certain elect men and women certain things and show them certain secrets of things that's going to happen so that when it happens, you will recognize and understand what time you're living in. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 46, verse number 2, 4 chapters later, verse number 9. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. The Most High already declared the end from the beginning. The outcome of this whole entire vision from Genesis to Revelations is already decided. It's already been declared. We already know the outcome. What's the outcome? Christ is going to come, deliver the children of Israel, destroy the nations, and set up his kingdom. And we, those of us that overcome, will be joint heirs and rulers with Christ. Christ will give us power over the nations. It's already decided. That's already been declared from the beginning, before the foundation of the world. Verse 10 again, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet come, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. The Most High's counsel is going to stand. Where's the Most High's counsel found? It's found in the Bible. To make it very simple and plain, the Most High's counsel is found in the Bible. Now, here's the problem. The other nations, they notice, brothers and sisters. They notice. So the other nations are making moves of their own in these last days to try to destroy the Bible. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. Most of you guys, if you're paying attention to news, and it's so funny because I hear this a lot amongst a lot of our people that are not the truth. A lot of people say they don't watch the news because it's too much bad news on the news. It's too much negativity on the news. No, the news is just reflecting the world that we live in. The news is just reflecting the times that we live in. That's all it is. If it's a lot of bad news, it's supposed to be. And a lot of people that say that, they're Christian, but you don't watch the news. But you're supposed to watch the news and measure what's going on in the world against what's going on in the scriptures. And that's how you know where you are in the timeline of prophecy. You're supposed to watch the news. These other nations know what time it is. They know what time it is. See, Herod understood that a Messiah was going to be born. So when he understood that, he got all the different scribes and different people, priests, and he got them to come and he asked them where the Messiah was going to be born because he wanted to get rid of Christ. Because he understood that that was the rightful king that was supposed to sit on that throne and not him. These other nations know prophecy too. They know prophecy too. When you read the book of Revelation chapter 11, it tells you when the nations see us stand upon their feet, great fear is going to fall upon them. So now these nations are starting to activate to try to destroy us and this book because the outcome is already decided, but they're going to fight. And one of the first things they're trying to do is destroy the Bible. Step number one, they're trying to rewrite it in certain places. They're trying to rewrite it in certain places. We see that going on in China. Watch this, y'all, real quick. Watch this video for those of you that did not see this. Let's go.
Chinese Christians receive Bibles for the first time. With as many as 130 million reported Chinese Christians and the continuing explosive growth of the underground church, there are now more Christians in China than members of the Communist Party. The Chinese government's persecution of Christians has only led to even more church growth, causing the Communist Party to now target the Bible itself with what it calls an update with socialist values.
So they are now updating the Bible. I have taught this many times, mainly on Clubhouse, definitely in our academies, not so much in these Sabbath services. For some of y'all, this is new information. When they call themselves updating the Bible, there are two primary ways to translate the Bible. You have what's called dynamic equivalence and formal equivalence. Dynamic equivalence is when people make stuff up. They don't give a damn what the actual manuscripts say. When they translate the Bible, they put their own idea in there. That's what they're doing in China. And then you have other translations of the Bible that are word-for-word translations, like the King James Bible we read out of. That's a word-for-word translation. In China, they're promoting a dynamic equivalent, aka somebody's own opinion Bible. That's what they're doing. A lot of these modern Bibles that we have right now, a lot of these modern Bibles, even in America, these are people's opinions and a figment of their imagination because the words on the paper don't match the manuscripts. And we're moving further and further and further away from the pure word of God. That's what's happening. It's happening in China openly, but it's happening here too. Because a lot of our people, they don't have the mind to sit down to try to understand the word-for-word translations. Oh, it's too hard. It's the King's English. It's the Queen's English. I don't want to learn that. So you want to pick up a modern translation of a Bible. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing comparative text. There's nothing wrong with doing comparative text. But some translations, they're just literally just putting their own opinion in there. You guys are going to see that. Let's keep going. Keep watching. Watch this.
And removing passages that don't reflect communist beliefs.
Like they did in the slave Bible. They remove passages that they don't agree with. That's what they're doing. Let's keep going.
Are no longer content with all of these attempts to try to forcibly get Christians to deny their faith. And so now they've just taken it to a new level where they're trying to rewrite the scripture and to confuse them and to prevent them from becoming Christians.
In one example from a
and China's always a test case for what eventually happens around the world. China was where COVID broke. China is where your social credit score is being beta tested now. They're already on that social credit score system. That's all coming here. They're going to bring this here too. Understand that.
School textbook, a Communist Party revision of John chapter 8 about the woman caught in adultery says, Jesus once said to the angry crowd who was trying to stone a woman who had sinned, "He who is without sin among you, let him cast a stone at her." When his words came to their ears, they stopped moving forward. When everyone went out, Jesus stoned the woman himself.
That's a lie. The manuscripts don't say that. They added that. They made that up. That's what they're doing. The manuscripts don't say that Christ stoned a woman. It doesn't say that. But now they're pushing Bibles where they're putting their own opinion to reflect their own opinions into the Bible, and that's being disseminated amongst the people. It's forcibly happening in China. It's happening here also in a lot of other translations, and it's going to get worse. Understand it. Let's go to the next slide. So the first step is to rewrite the Bible. They want to get the Bible out of here. Why? Because the Bible says the Most High said his word and his counsel will stand. And what's the word and the counsel that will stand? What is the end that has been declared from the beginning, that Israel is going to rule and these other nations are going to serve us, and the nations don't like it. They don't like it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Right now, right here, what I have is called a translation continuum, so you guys that are new can understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you look at this translation continuum, the Bible that's most popular amongst us is the King James Bible. It is what you call a word-for-word translation. That's what it is. But a lot of translations, as we go further and further into history, is beginning to trend towards what we call paraphrasing or retelling of scriptures, where they just put their own opinion. They don't give a damn what's on the manuscripts. They're not trying to translate what's on the paper. They're not trying to translate it word for word. They're just going to put whatever they want to put. And then if they can't remix it. They just completely take it out the Bible. That's what they're doing. That's what's happening. It's happening here too. But in China, it's really being pushed by the government. The government is involved in that. Understand that, right? Let's go to the next video. Now, I'm not sure how many of you brothers and sisters know who this devil is, but this guy is the devil. He is the devil. His name is Noah Hariri. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's going to be in a few videos in this lesson today, right? Step number 2, after rewriting the Bible, they want to replace the Bible with something new. I want you to listen to this maniac right here. Listen to what he says. And the reason why he's somebody of importance is going to come out later on as we go further into the lesson. Watch.
The third thing about AI that everybody needs to know,
and he's talking about artificial intelligence. You guys see the push about artificial intelligence now. They're really shoving this down our throat. They're really promoting artificial intelligence, right? Pay attention.
The third thing about AI that everybody needs to know, it's the first technology ever that can create new ideas. You know, the printing press, radio, television, they broadcast, they spread the ideas created by the human brain, by the human mind. They cannot create a new idea. You know, Gutenberg printed the Bible in the middle of the 15th century. The printing press printed as many copies of the Bible as Gutenberg instructed it, but it did not create a single new page.
In other words, they didn't add to it. So this devil doesn't like the fact that they didn't add to it to change nothing, right? Keep going.
It had no ideas of its own about the Bible. Is it good? Is it bad? How to interpret this? How to interpret that? AI can create new ideas, can even write a new Bible.
So what he's promoting is for artificial intelligence to write a whole new Bible, a whole new one. Why? Because the end has already been declared from the beginning. The outcome of this Bible we have is that we rule next. And these nations don't like it. So you want a Bible? Okay, we're going to give you a Bible. Let's go.
You know, throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence, by a non-human entity. Every religion claims our book, all the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. That just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an AI. That could be a reality.
Did you guys hear that? In a few years, if these maniacs, these devils, continue to bear rule on this earth, they want religions that are based around books or Bibles or holy books that were written by artificial intelligence. This is where the world is trending if Christ don't come and destroy it. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go back to where we were. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning. What is the end that was declared from the beginning? This is the book of Daniel chapter 7. We're going to pick it up at verse number 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, which we know are the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. The reason why they want to have a book or a Bible, a holy book written by artificial intelligence, they don't like this outcome. The reason why they want to rewrite the Bible, they don't like this outcome. And the nations know the prophecies. Same way we know the prophecies, they understand it too. The biggest sign of the end that they can see right in front of their eyes is Israel standing up and waking up, and they see it. So now they're going full steam ahead with a lot of plans that they have to bring in this great reset, this quote unquote new world order, build back better, whatever name that they're using. They're going full steam ahead. And the Israelites, our people, are the main targets that they want to wipe out if they could. But the Most High is on our side. Verse 28, hitherto is the end of the matter. All right, that's enough of that. Let's go to the next slide. Now, the truth is bittersweet, right? It's bittersweet. This is Ezekiel chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. Verse 10. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. That book, for lack of a better word, to make it real simple, is the Bible. So when Ezekiel began to digest this roll, which is the Bible, and understand exactly what this thing is about, there was written in it lamentations and mourning and woe. In order to get to that kingdom, in order to inherit the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we're going to have to go through lamentations and mourning and woes. The book of Revelation speaks about 3 great woes, 3 great destructions. We're going to have to go through that to get to the kingdom. We got to go through winter to get to the kingdom. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verses 1 through 4, and then we're going to jump down to verse 14. Moreover, he said unto me, son of man, eat that thou findest. So we do, that's what we do. We eat the roll, we digest the roll, we read the scriptures. Eat the roll and go and speak to the house of Israel. We digest these scriptures, we study these scriptures to show ourselves approved, and then we go and we teach our people. Verse 2, so open my mouth, and he caused me to eat the roll. We study, we gain understanding, we internalize it, then we go teach it. And he said unto me, son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. Right. Why is this Bible in his mouth for honey as sweetness? When you first come into this truth and you realize that everything that you learn is a lie, everything that you've been told about yourself and your people is a lie, that you're God's chosen people, that you're a royal people, that you're a peculiar people, that you are a holy people, that you are a royal people, that you don't belong in the ghettos and the slums. You belong on top, that all other nations were supposed to serve you. That's sweet. The kingdom is for you. God is your God. That's sweet. Right? That's the sweet part. Then you begin to go and start to disseminate this to your people, and therein lies the bitterness, because they don't want to hear it. They can't see what you see. They're still in the matrix. They're still groping in the dark. They can't get it. Then after that, things start happening in your life. You start losing friends, families, co-workers, children, financial problems, relationship problems, health problems, you name it, all types of stuff that you begin to go through. And guess what? Christ said in all of that, you can't take your hands off the plow. You still got to do the work. It doesn't matter that you had a bad week at work. So what? It doesn't matter that you're not having a good day. So what? It doesn't matter that you're having financial problems and you can't pay a couple of your bills. So what? You still got to do the work. You can't take your hands off the plow. You have to endure despite. Your family doesn't want to talk to you no more. They part company from you. You have no more friends. You have a spouse that doesn't want to be with you anymore because you're in the truth now. You got to still go. You can't take your hands from the plow. If you take your hands from the plow, you're not worthy. You're not fit for the kingdom. That's what Christ said. That's bitter. Some of us are going to be killed for this word. That's bitter. You're going to be lied on, ostracized, slandered. That's bitter. But you got to go through all of that. Christ said you got to suffer with him so you can be glorified with him. This word is sweet and bitter at the same time. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 10, verse 9 through 11. It says, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Same thing that Ezekiel said, right? Verse 10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hands, and I ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, it was in my belly bitter. The mouth is the first place. Digestion starts in the mouth, y'all. Everybody knows that, right? When you're eating something, digestion begins immediately in your mouth. So the immediate reaction to this truth, like I said, when you first hear it, is sweet. all the great things that you done heard about yourself. And wow, I didn't know that, man. Can't wait to tell my people. But then all that other stuff starts hitting. When it starts really getting down into the digestive tract and begin to digest, that thing is bitter, man. The thing is bitter. But you have to endure. That's the job. Let's move on. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 5. We're going to pick it up from verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And in these days and times, the way of truth is hidden. Imagine if the Lord was telling the prophet Ezra during his time, the way of truth would be hidden, right? There was many things that was lost, which is why Ezra had to even go and rewrite the book to begin with. There was many things that was lost because our books had been burned, so forth and so on. And so Ezra had to go and rewrite the books. Imagine now, the way of truth is hidden. And the land is barren of faith. A lot of our people don't believe in the Bible anymore. They've allowed themselves to be seduced by people like the conscious community. Now they don't believe in God. A lot of our people are now believing in science. You believe in Darwin and evolution and by way of natural selection and all this other crap. A lot of our people are getting caught up in that. Why? Because they believe the Bible is a white man's book. They listen to uneducated, unlearned Negroes online that talk a lot of mess, that don't know what they're talking about, that come on Clubhouse and get on stage and don't know what the hell they're talking about. And a lot of our people are seduced by that. They're seduced by what they see on television. They're seduced by what they see on YouTube, where you have all these people prognosticating and speaking a whole lot of garbage. And our people are seduced by that. Not to mention the fact that many of our people at one time had faith and the church system failed them. It did not teach them right, and it sure as hell didn't treat them right. And so they put the Bible down altogether, which makes the job that much harder for us. I was in that boat once, so I have sympathy. I was raised a Christian in church and went through a lot of things, experienced a lot of things, saw a lot of things. So the first opportunity I got when I was a man, I put that damn Christianity down. And in turn, I put the Bible down too, because I didn't know that anything else at the time. I didn't know about no Israelites. So I looked at the Bible as a Christian book and put it down. But the Most High had mercy and sent somebody my way to teach me certain things to bring me back around. But a lot of our people, they don't have that luxury, right? The way of truth is hidden. We're surrounded by lies. Lies are being propagated 24 hours a day. It's in the palm of your hands via social media. When I look at just the memes that are posted on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, when it concerns the Bible and things that people say, it's ridiculous. And people believe a meme rather than actually picking up the Bible and reading it for themselves. It's a damn shame. Let's move on. Let's jump over to 2nd Esdras chapter 12. We're going to pick it up from verse 35. This is what the Lord said to Ezra. He said, "This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations." Verse 36. "Thou only hast been meet to know this secret of the highest." The Most High wasn't dealing with everybody. So why do people think the Most High is dealing with everybody now? Why do people get in their emotions when you try to show people certain things and they can't see it? They can't see it because the Most High didn't reveal it to them. It's just that simple. When you're dealing with this truth, you can't be emotional about it. You can't be in your feelings. The Most High is not dealing with everybody. The interpretations and understanding of these scriptures are only for the elect. That's it. Nobody else is going to understand. The book of Revelation chapter 14 says nobody can learn the song but who? The 144,000. That's it. It's not for everybody. Verse 37. "Therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book and hide them." The Lord told Ezra to hide these things. Verse 38. "And teach them to the wise of the people." So that's why Christ said, don't cast your pearls to swine. We teach our people in general, but the interpretations and the mysteries, especially when it comes to prophecy and spiritual things, that's for wise men and wise women. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So you got to try the spirit. I don't speak my mind. When I say my mind, meaning everything I know, to everybody I talk to. Sometimes I'll be sitting around people and I'll check their spirit out, check their conversation out before I drop anything on them to see even if it's worth my time. We have our general teachers where we teach on the street. We have our general teachers where we teach on YouTube. We have our general teachers where we teach on Clubhouse, but that stuff is limited. What we could teach, what we could go into, the deep mysteries, the deep spiritual things, we don't teach to everybody. The Lord told Ezra, don't teach that to everybody. And we're the same in this day and time. That's why if you're looking at the screen, we have our academy, right? Which is starting up September 17th. That's where I begin to start really going into deeper things. Because the people that come and do that academy, they're serious and they're sincere. They're wise brothers and wise sisters that want to learn. Verse 38 again. And teach them to the wise of thy people, whose hearts thou knowest, may comprehend and keep these secrets. So we want to talk to people that's going to actually comprehend what it is we're talking. Everybody can't comprehend what's going on. Even though it's right in front of them, they just can't comprehend it. Understand it. Let's move on. Yahushua said something similar to the apostles. It's the book of Matthew chapter 13, verses 9 through 11. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? So Christ speaks openly. Like I said, we do too. But Christ spoke openly, but he spoke in parables because it wasn't for everybody. Verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it's not given. The reason why the Most High has opened your eyes, brothers and sisters, why you can understand the things we teach, because it's given unto you. You are the elect of the elect. Israel is the elect nation. But even amongst the elect nation, there is an elect. And if the Most High revealed his word to you, you may be of that elect. I say maybe because you have to endure to the end. To be sure. Because the Most High can also take his Holy Spirit from you. And today you could understand, and tomorrow you could come back and tell us that you're a Muslim. Or you into comedic science now, or some other thing. The Most High can remove his spirit, which is why we got to all remain humble. But if you understand this, and you are able to remain in this and endure to the end, you are of the elect. You are of the elite of the elite. Understand that. And that's why you understand it. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why the Most High chose you, because many of us are coming from a place in life where we struggled our whole life. We were the last people a lot of people would ever think would be top people. Not in this world. It was the complete opposite. You didn't have the most money. You wasn't the best looking. You didn't have live in the most fancy houses. You didn't have the best clothes. Some of us growing up, so forth and so on. You didn't have the most friends, right? You wasn't voted most likely to succeed in your high school yearbook, right? You wasn't voted prom king or prom queen in high school, right? Where are those people that had that in this world? Where are they at today? What do they know today? What do they believe today? And then look at yourself. Where you at? You're in the truth. You're at the forefront of bringing Israel back. You ever saw that picture in America where they're planting the flag in 1776 in the ground? Like they're establishing a nation? That's you. If you endure. That's why the Most High is revealing this to us first. Let's move on. What are some of the mysteries? And what are some of the signs of the end? Well, one of the signs of the end is when this end will be. When the end will be. This is the book of Matthew chapter 24, picking it up from verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? That's what everybody wants to know about. When is the quote unquote end of the world? What is the end of the world? And when is it? The white man is constantly making movies. He's constantly cranking out movies in Hollywood about the end of the world. I mean, that's a $1 billion, $1 trillion industry, right? blowing up buildings, crazy looking aliens invading the earth and everything. He's obsessed by that because he understands that the Most High has appointed his bounds, man. His time is already set. When it's going to end. What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? The Christians believe the end of the world is the Most High is going to take this globe, this sphere, this flat earth, whatever you believe in. The Most High is going to take this thing and destroy it. That's not the end of the world. It means the end of an age or the end of a rulership of a particular people. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, picking it up from verse number 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. That's one of the mysteries. That's one of the mysteries that people want to know. What is this end of the world stuff? It's the end of Esau ruling the earth. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now, let me say this just as an aside and a caveat, right? If we believe the white man is Esau, that's what we believe. If the Arabs are Esau, like some folks want to teach, right? The Arabs are not controlling the world right now. They're not ruling the world. The white man is. So if the Arabs are actually Esau, then they have to come into power because Esau is the end of the world. We have to wait for the Arabs to come into power so that they can be taken down so that Jacob could get his kingdom. Because right after Esau is taken down, Jacob is ruling next. If the white man is Japhet and he's not an Edomite like what we teach, then there's a whole nother kingdom that's going to come up after this one that's going to rule. And we ain't never going to get in the kingdom, not in our lifetime. That's crazy, y'all. The white man is Esau, whether you believe it, accept it, or not. Let's move on. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12. I'm just going to read some select verses real quick. Revelation, chapter 12. We're going to pick it up from verse number 12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows he hath but a short time. So these nations, like I showed you earlier, the reason why they're doing what they're doing, the reason why they're having the conversations that they're having, the reason why they're planning the way that they're planning is because they know their time is short. One of the biggest signs that show them that their time is short is Jacob is waking up and rising up, and they see it. Jumping down to verse number 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, that woman is Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. We are that remnant of Israel that keep God's commandments. The Christians don't. They don't. And we have the testimony of Yahushua. That's us. So in these last days, as they begin to implement a lot of things they're getting ready to implement, we are the intended target. Will there be collateral damage? Meaning, will there be other nations that will get caught up in a lot of these policies that they're bringing? Yes. But ultimately, they're instituting a lot of policies that they're instituting to keep the children of Israel from ever waking up. And those of us that are teaching, they're trying to systematically eliminate us. That's what they're trying to do. Understand that. Don't look at the collateral damage and say, well, it's affecting Chinese people too. It's affecting Arabs too. And it doesn't matter. We are the intended target for everything that they're doing. These Edomites are trying to stay in power by any means necessary. And if that means destroying their own, they will do that. Understand that. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. We're going to pick it up from verse number 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So God's prophecies are faithful and true, meaning that they are going to happen. Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is the embodiment of the word of the Most High. And Yahushua is the ultimate vehicle, the primary vehicle with which the Most High will cause these prophecies to be fulfilled, which make them faithful and true. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 19, picking it up from verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. This is talking about Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. He's also called Faithful and True. By him, the Most High will cause many of these prophecies to be fulfilled, and God's word will be true. Christ is the embodiment of the Word of God. He is that Word made flesh. Understand that. Let's go to the next slide. Verse number 3. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse number 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Now, incredulity is not a word that we normally use as Black people. So for those of y'all that are watching the PowerPoint, I put the definition on the screen. Incredulity means disbelieving frame of mind, right? It means unbelief or unbelieving. So let's substitute that word, those words in the scriptures. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the disbelief, the unbelief, the unbelieving of them trouble thee. You're not supposed to allow the fact that people don't believe what it is we teach to bother you. It's not given to them. We have to get out of our emotions. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, the disbelief, the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Because people speak against us all the time, to the point of slandering us. But that's not supposed to trouble you. Why? It happened to the best of us. It happened to Yahweh Shai. It happened to the apostles. It happened to Stephen. Stephen was killed based on lies. False witnesses were brought against Stephen when you read the book of Acts chapter 7. False witnesses were brought against Christ in that trial that he had before the Sanhedrin. We killed many of our prophets in the Old Testament based on lies. That's what we did. They lied on Paul, which is why Paul appealed to be judged before Caesar before he was allowed himself to be judged before Negroes. People are going to speak against you. Don't fear that. That's part of the job. This is the book of Romans chapter 3, picking it up from verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Verse 2, much every way, chiefly because unto them were committed the oracles of God. Verse number 3, 4, what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? So what if some people don't believe what's written in the Bible? So what if people don't believe the things that we teach? Does their unbelief make what's written in the Bible from Genesis to Revelations, the end declared from the beginning when Israel is going to rule and all of the nations are going to serve us, does their unbelief in that make it not true? God forbid. That means no. Yea, let God be true, which is God's word, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So we rely on as it is written. And when we speak as it is written, we're justified in what we say. And if somebody tries to judge us in a matter, we are able to overcome because we're able to demonstrate that what we said is according to the word of God, whether they want to believe it or not. That's the point. Okay, let's move to the next slide now. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. A lot of our people are not going to make it. They're going to be destroyed because they're faithless and they don't believe. And they're going to die in their unfaithfulness. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 7. It says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. What are you going to have to overcome? You're going to have to overcome the incredulity. We just read it. You're going to have to overcome the incredulity of people that trouble you, the unbelief, and everything that comes with it. You're going to have to overcome people speaking against you and sometimes slandering you too. You're going to have to overcome that. Revelation 21:7 again, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, all the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Everything we've been promised, you're going to inherit that. And I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Verse 8, but the fearful, you get scared because people don't believe. You're nervous about what people may say about you, how they might feel about you. For what? But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So they're going to be destroyed. That's what Ezra is relaying right there in 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. That's their judgment that they've been appointed to. And you can't change that. Most High gave you a job. Our job is to teach and to seal the elect through the foolishness of preaching. That is our job. That's it. Let's go to the next slide. A lot of people think the Most High is like the white wizard from the Lord of the Rings. That's what they be thinking. If you never watched the series The Lord of the Rings, that image right there, that's the white wizard. A lot of people think the Most High is like him, and that these plagues are going to happen via some magic trick. No, these things are systematic. These troubles that are being implemented are being implemented systematically. And we're going to show you some of that today. Sleepy Joe prophesying, saying something before it's going to happen. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. I will bring plagues upon the world. Did we not just see a plague hit the world in 2020? C19? Did we not see that? We saw that. Well, Sleepy Joe has a message for everybody. Listen.
We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
Did you hear that? It's a prophecy. Did you guys hear that? Not maybe, not could be, not, you know what, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure it doesn't happen. No.
We do need more money.
There's going to be another one.
We don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. We have to think ahead. And that's not something the last outfit did very well. That's something we've been doing fairly well. That's why we need the money.
So the Bible says that there's going to be plagues upon the earth. That's also written in the book of Matthew chapter 24. It says that there are going to be pestilences. And some of these things are directly from the Father. And some of these things, Esau is messing around and engineering these things too. And Satan is inspiring him to do it. The Bible says there's going to be plagues. C19 was just the beginning. It's going to get worse. Understand that. Let's go to the next slide. By the way, this is the same guy that just said that.
There's not a single thing America can't do when we do it together as the United States of America. God bless you all.
There's nobody there. Sorry, there's nobody there. This guy's a nutcase. But what he said was true. Understand that. Humor aside, what he said was true. Let's go to the next slide.
There's not a...
Yeah, see, these plagues, they keep plaguing. Everybody looking at the screen, do you guys see? Start with the bottom. Do you guys see the dates? That's August 15th, 2023, family. That's 11 days ago. This is from the Daily Mail. What does it say? It says, gloomy scientists call for people to start wearing C19 masks again. How many of y'all are ready to go back to the mask thing? Was that fun the first time? They're talking about bringing that back in the fall and the winter. Did you guys know that? Mandating that thing again. Gloomy scientists call for people to start wearing C19 masks again as they sound an alarm over new variant BA.6 that has a lot of mutations. That was 11 days ago. So they're ratcheting up the rhetoric again. Understand? Because people are getting comfortable. People are kicking back. Like, okay, it's all over. It's not over. It's going to get worse. And there's going to be more. And then they're going to be plagues that are simultaneous besides these. So we got to sound the alarm. Like Elder said before, everybody's looking at Donald Trump, right? Talking about Trump and being arrested and stuff, this, that, and the third. That's a psyop. That's to distract you. Y'all talking about was Jamie Foxx clone? That's a psyop to distract you. Right? They got a whole bunch of distractions out there that you're paying attention to. You're not paying attention to this. It's our job to level set you and to refocus you. No, look over here. While that's going on, look over here. This screenshot is from August 21st. That was 5 days ago. Biden administration to renew push for Americans to get C19 boosters. Some brothers and sisters, you didn't get it the first time. And people lost jobs behind it. And I know people that have not recovered from that yet. They're thinking about bringing that back and mandating these boosters, which means more people are going to lose jobs. Understand that. This is where we're going. Let's go to the next slide. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Why is all that stuff important? Why did I go into all of that? Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Because all these things are related. The first time that pandemic came through here, a lot of things were destroyed behind it. If there's ever another lockdown of that magnitude or worse, a lot of our people are going to be victims of that thing. A lot of our people are going to be negatively affected by that thing. A lot of our people are going to suffer behind that thing. Understand? Let's look at this video real quick right here.
Many small businesses that receive federal pandemic loans are now on the hook to start repaying them. But some owners are concerned that the debts are becoming due at a time when the economy is still struggling with sky-high inflation.
So a lot of businesses, small businesses, some of them are our businesses as well. A lot of businesses were closed or caused to close when they had the lockdown. And what happened was the government was offering these recovery loans for these businesses, so forth and so on, to recover for the time when these businesses were closed and they weren't making any money. Sadly, like most people, they don't read contracts. They didn't read the fine print. They signed up for these loans without really understanding what the terms and conditions were of these loans. And they took the loans out to recover from what happened during the pandemic, the losses that they suffered. And now the government is coming down upon them. So it's like they're about to lose all over again. They're about to lose all over again.
Inflation dipped slightly in the U.S. last month compared to last year, but nearly 4 million small businesses and nonprofits took out loans, and the government will want its money back. So for more on that, we want to bring in Ruth Simon. She's a senior special writer at the Wall Street Journal. This is really interesting. You know, there are all kinds of loans and sort of breaks being given out in the middle of the pandemic. And I think it was a little confusing for business owners.
Yeah, because they wasn't reading the contracts. They just were taking the loans, which is understandable. But it was a trick bag.
to understand what they had access to, what they had to pay back, what they didn't. So some of the loans were forgivable, federal loans. Some of the federal loans were forgivable. But can you talk to us about these small business loans that will have to be paid back? What were they?
Sure, these were loans made from the federal disaster program, and they have 30-year terms.
We don't have to watch the whole video. The point is that when that pandemic came the first time and things were locked down, a lot of businesses were affected behind that. Understand that. They're talking about locking down again. Just that's coming. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's coming again, y'all. It's going to come again. Let's go to the next slide.
Many.
What else happened? When you have plagues upon the world, like C-19, that can cause food shortages and death. Watch.
Farmers are feeling the pinch during this pandemic. Closed restaurants and schools have slashed demand for produce and dairy. This comes as crops are on the brink of prime. Now at 11, Letitia Lance reports there are not enough workers to get the job done.
So understand what was happening so you brothers and sisters can understand. Because you're going to see it in the video, but I'm going to explain to you what you're listening to. What happened was, once you had the C-19 lockdown, they stopped giving out visas to a lot of people that was coming up from South America, like Mexico, et cetera, to come and work on the farms in California and other places. They stopped giving them visas, which means that there was nobody to actually work the land to pick the crops. So the crops was sitting there, withering away, falling to the ground, and basically just wasting away. That was it. And so because the crops were wasting away, there was no place, there was nobody to pick it, nobody to ship it to the stores. Then the stores were locked down, the schools were locked down, there was no demand. So the food was basically wasting away. That's what was happening. And the people didn't have access to the food. It's as simple as there being a lockdown, as simple as there being a pandemic. Now the food supply chain is interrupted if there's nobody to work the land. If there's nobody to pick the crops, if there's nobody to process the crops, if there's no place to ship it to because stores and supermarkets are closed, the crops are just going to spoil and the people will never get it. And then you will starve. It's as simple as that.
I've been doing this for 35 years, and I've never seen one like this one.
Coronavirus is hitting Georgia farmers hard. The Lewis Taylor Farm in Tifton, Georgia is one of the largest in the Southeast. It ships produce all over the country to restaurants and grocery store chains. At this time of year, the farm should be buzzing with workers and orders.
We all on Kent's nerve down here.
Right now, the farm is more than 200 workers short.
We're at the burden of paperwork being done on time, and now on top of that, the burden of a disease that we're so fearful of.
Most of the workers come from Mexico. Their work visas have been delayed because of coronavirus.
If they don't have workers, the crops will not be harvested.
It's an industry that can't afford another tough season. Many farms are still trying to recover after being ravished by Hurricane Michael. Meanwhile, grocery store and restaurant sales are a fraction of what they should be.
Our sales have gone from about 7,000 to 10,000 boxes of greens and broccoli a day to 100.
Dairy farms are also getting hit.
The school lunch and food service are about 50% of the dairy market in America.
Last week, Providence Dairy in Climax, Georgia posted this video on Facebook. 50,000 pounds of milk dumped because stores are full.
If there's ever a time in my career where farmers are in need of, relief, this is the year. There's no doubt about it.
Do you guys see how all the stuff is related? One led to the other, and the other led to the other, and the other led to the other. This stuff is all related. And it's prophesied that it's going to happen. It's here in the book of Ezra. It's in the book of Matthew and other places in the Bible. These things are going to happen. And it doesn't take a parlor trick or a magic trick for it to happen. One thing can lead to many things. And we're seeing examples of that right here. Let's go to the next slide.
Farmers.
How does that affect housing? Let's listen.
Landlords are now doing mass evictions in the U.S. rental market. They're kicking tenants out of their homes in cities like Nashville, neighborhood behind me. The evictions here are up 30% more than they were prior to the pandemic, and they're going to keep increasing. The landlord, they jacked up the rent too much over the last couple of years. Rent went up 20, 30, 40% in certain cities during the pandemic. Wages and incomes, they didn't even come close to keeping.
So rents went up 40%. Wages didn't go up, and a lot of people were out of work. The government gave a moratorium for a certain amount of time where you couldn't kick people out during the pandemic because there was a lockdown. But as soon as that was lifted, they were throwing people in the streets. And guess who the main people in Nashville that's getting thrown in the streets is? It's us. So you got food shortages from this pandemic. You got housing crisis from this pandemic and a whole bunch of other things from the first one. Not what Biden is saying. Remember, Biden said it's going to happen again. We're talking about the first one. Look at the chaos it caused.
Up, which is now causing lots of tenants to go into default on their lease and get evicted. And what's scary to me is that these evictions are happening when the unemployment rate in America is still only 3.7%. The unemployment rate is very low. There's already this big surge in evictions. So what is this going to look like over the next 1 to 2 years as the recession gets worse and the labor market worsens? I have big concern for the tenants and the housing markets in cities where these evictions are happening, particularly in an area like Miami, where the average renter now needs to pay over 50% of their income on rent. Evictions in Miami are surging, as they will in lots of parts of the Southeast and Southwest in America that boomed the most during the pandemic. Watch out for this trend in the second half of 2023.
So we're in the second half of 2023 right now, and we're going to begin to see these things, especially as the fall kicks in and things start ramping up. You're going to see a lot of these things going into 2024. And a lot of our people are going to bug out because they don't know what's happening. We know what's happening. That's the reason why we're talking about it today. We're speaking about prophecy. We understand exactly what we're looking at. The Most High is systematically bringing this place to its knees. And we understand that. But a lot of our people don't. They can't get it. They can't get it. Let's go to the next slide.
Landlords.
I'm going to skip this right now, just for the sake of time.
Thousands of.
Now, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frames mischief by law? These people, these Edomites, the powers that should not be, they have a lot of policies that they have in place and are going to put in place. And these policies are not being put in place for your benefit or my benefit. They're put in place because they are trying to control the people systematically. Why? Because they see the Israelites waking up. They can see their end. They can see it. They know they have but a short time. So they plan on ramping things up and introducing a lot of what I call draconian or evil policies that might seem good on the outside, but they have sinister intentions if you really study them. This is the same people that on their money they have in God we trust. How can you say you have fellowship with God? How can you name the name of a God? But the laws and the policies that you are implementing and plan on implementing are evil. And you're going to force people to do that. Their God is gun, oil, and drugs, as we already know. Let's go to the next slide. Now, I kind of want to show this video a little bit. We kind of went over this a couple of weeks ago, but I kind of want to lead off with this video, and then we're going to go a bunch of different places. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of different videos, right? The future, if Esau is allowed to rule, is mischief, is evil. And it's going to be buffered by laws that they're going to put in place to try to force the people to do these things. Let's watch this video real quick. The name of the video is pretty much where the world will be in 2030. That's 6 years from now. This is the idea, whether all these things are actually accomplished or not. This is the idea that they have in 6 years. Pay attention.
It's part of the human condition to imagine what the future might look like. Years ago, science fiction writers like Arthur C. Clarke dreamed and future-gazed, mapping out exactly what 2020 might be like.
The big difference when he grows up, in fact, if we wanted to wait for the year 2001, is that he will have in his own house, not a computer as big as this, but at least a console through which you can talk to his friendly local computer and get all the information you need in the course of living in a complex modern society. This will be in a compact form in his own house.
Our lives have changed so dramatically in the first 20 years of this millennium. But what will our domestic life in 2030 look like? What smart devices will be at the heart of our homes? And with assistive tech supporting us in our daily tasks, will there come a time when we never need to leave the house?
Will there come a time where you will never need to leave the house? Interesting. Let's go.
We hear of things like the Internet of Things informing the stocking of our fridges and freezers, but this is hiding the real story of how we'll adopt such smart technologies. We've already invited extraordinary machine learning devices into our homes. 22% of UK households have one or more smart speakers, while the number of IoT-connected devices worldwide is projected to almost triple to 30.9 billion units by 2025. Yes, most of us only use an Alexa or Google Nest to listen to music, the radio, or play silly jokes with. But behind the scenes, big tech aims to make these products central to how our homes run.
So the companies behind smart speakers, or they're called now digital assistants, are actually trying to transform them. So they're not digital assistants anymore, but more sort of household managers or household brains that actually can control a whole network of other devices inside your home. The likes of Apple and Amazon are trying to integrate their smart devices so they work with kind of automatic hoovers that will basically work on their own. They'll map out the inside of your home. Now, whoever is in charge of household chores is going to be totally liberated from having to do that because they won't have to spend hours hoovering. They'll just be able to get an automatic vacuum to do it instead.
See, and that's how they catch people. Okay, we're going to create these technologies. You're going to have an automatic hoover that's going to map your house. You don't have to vacuum your house no more. The computers will do it for you. So that sounds good. Like, oh, wow, for real? And that's how they hook people. For real? I ain't got to vacuum no more? Great.
That will mean a big change for a lot of people. NVIDIA are basically working on developing this sort of quite large, giant robot arm that will live in your kitchen. It can help you open drawers, it can put things away, so it will map out where everything lives in your kitchen.
Damn, sis, the robot arm is going to put your groceries away? You don't got to do that no more? Wow.
And the idea will probably be that it can tidy up after you, or it can even do the cooking. And then
damn, the robot arm is going to be doing the cooking, sisters.
Tidy up. That would mean you probably wouldn't even have to be in your kitchen. It might just serve food out of a kind of porthole that you never have to even enter. And obviously that would transform everybody's houses.
And that's how they catch you. That sounded good, right? Automatic vacuum, a robotic arm that puts the groceries away. It'll cook for you. It'll bring you your food. You just got to sit there and wait. Wow. Okay.
In the future, this sensor-led technology will likely be built right into the structures of our homes. Smart modular housing developments are starting to emerge as the viable planet-friendly option for home buyers and construction firms alike.
So I guess the real advantage with smart homes is they'll be able to monitor everything. So they'll be able to monitor how much energy you're using, how much water you're using, and that sort of ability to...
So now the sensors begin to monitor your consumption in your house. How much water you're using, how much energy you're using. And where is this information going? It's going to a centralized system that's going to be controlled by the government. You know, everything about you. Everything.
Essentially put sensors around your kind of everyday tasks. That will mean you'll be able to see where am I wasting energy and water, and then you'll be able to take steps to combat that. I mean, that could have a big impact on Britain trying to meet its net zero target.
But this is just the beginning. Smart technology is beginning to reshape the way in which entire cities are inhabited. Around the world, cities are deploying sensors to track footfall, litter, and air pollution.
While we're seeing smart homes kind of making leaps and bounds at the moment, I think somewhere where it's actually kind of a bit more advanced is also smart cities. So councils have really noticed.
Smart cities, where everything is within 15 minutes of you. So you ain't got to travel further than that. That's why earlier in the video, she was like, there might come a point where you don't even have to leave your house. Or if you do have to leave your house, You can't go further than 15 minutes because everything is within 15 minutes of you. These are called smart cities. Do your own research. Let's go.
The potential here, smart homes and smart cities are going to be integrated into the future, and that's going to make big changes.
In Sunderland, bins fitted with sensors can tell the council when they're full, and in China, sensors combined with facial recognition can detect individuals who are jaywalking and display their faces on screens to shame them.
Yep, so
it's part of the humans beginning to reshape the way when they're full, and in China, sensors combined with facial recognition can detect individuals who are jaywalking and display their faces on screens to shame them.
So they can actually track you in China already. See, China is the most advanced. So I told you got to keep your eyes on the Chinese. They're the most advanced when it comes to this control system, this new system that's going to be eventually they would like to implement worldwide. If you jaywalk, they'll have all your information because of all the sensors and all the cameras and all the everything. Everything's being monitored. Your face will be put up on a damn screen. And it will affect your social credit score, all of that. All of that. Everything is controlled. Everything is monitored. This is the world that they want us to live in. Not necessarily us that are older, but this is the world that they want your children to live in. And they envision doing this within the next 10 years.
And intelligent tech is beginning to shape the way we may shop IRL in the future. In early 2021, Amazon opened its first high street supermarket in West London. Based on its successful rollout in the US, this shop uses advanced sensor technology to track the contents of your actual in-store shopping basket in real time, updating your account spending as you shop and billing you once you've left the store.
I think definitely Amazon wants it to be a high street revolution, and one of the reasons.
So you guys get the idea. I can stop the video right there. This is the world that they're leading us towards. This is what they envision. All right. Let's go to the next slide. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 6. For the wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is not our rest, brothers and sisters. This is not what the Most High promised our forefathers. That you live in a society like that, that might sound good to some of y'all, but it don't sound good to me, man. That sounds evil. It's like these nations are trying to be God. They're trying to replace God. They want to, the Most High knows everything. The Most High is omniscient, omnipotent, knows all things. The powers that be, they want that to be them. They're trying to play the role of God. So we should pray for the Most High to destroy this kingdom, because it's not for our benefit. It's really to destroy us. That's the ultimate motive, whether you realize it, accept it or not. Let's go to the next slide. Now, another example of their hurtful works that they're planning on doing is something called transhumanism. How many brothers and sisters know what transhumanism is? Well, let's read the definition from the encyclopedia, shall we? Transhumanism, it's a philosophical and scientific movement that advocates the use of current and emerging technologies such as genetic engineering, cryonics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology to augment human capabilities and improve the human condition. They want to augment human capabilities and improve the human condition. I want to say that one more time. They want to augment human capabilities, meaning capabilities that we were not born with, the Most High did not create us with. They want to augment the creation that the Most High created in order to make it capable for us to do certain things which are wicked. And this falls under the umbrella of transhumanism. Let's go to the next slide. Now, how many brothers and sisters know who Professor Klaus Schwab is? Have you ever heard of him before? Some of you have, maybe some of you have not. If you thought Bill Gates of hell was bad, this guy's worse. To me, he's worse. Let's read a little bit about Professor Klaus Schwab. It says Klaus Schwab is a German engineer. I could stop right there. He's a German engineer. He's into engineering. engineering. They're trying to augment human capabilities. And an economist and a founder of the World Economic Forum. So he's the founder of the World Economic Forum, and he is a German engineer. Remember that after World War II, it was the Germans that brought forth many of these psyops that we still see being used today. And many of the inventions like the atom bomb and other things that we see that still exist today that changed the course of history. It's ironic that you have this guy here, Klaus Schwab, a German engineer that is the founder of the World Economic Forum. And at the World Economic Forum, they have very, very, very interesting conversations about the future and augmenting human capabilities, playing the role of God. Let's go to the next slide. Now, before we get to those, just in answer to Zahab's question earlier about your man, Orange 45, as I call him, aka Donald Trump. This is a rogues gallery of some of the people that attended the World Economic Forum in 2018. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend Orange 45 was at the World Economic Forum in 2018. Because I be seeing online, man, Israelites seeming like y'all like some Trump. Now, granted, his policies on certain things, like when it comes to abortion and the alphabet community, so forth and so on, I get it, that it more aligns with our values. But we have to stop short of praising this man. He is the enemy too. And I believe he's a part of the PSYOP as well. One of the things that leads me to believe that he's part of PSYOP is the very fact that he attends the World Economic Forum summits. Why would you go and speak someplace like that? And we're going to see why I say that. Let's go to the next slide. Why would you speak somewhere like that if you're not down with the agenda? I don't get it. So who attended the World Economic Forum in 2018? Let's just read the first couple of sentences. It said this year's, I'm talking about 2018, this year's opening address will be delivered by Narendra Modi, which is Prime Minister of India, and Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, will deliver a keynote address before the close of the meeting. So Donald Trump gave the keynote address at the World Economic Forum, which was founded by Klaus Schwab, a German engineer. So you're giving a keynote address at a meeting like this. Okay. So what, you might say? Well, what are some of the subjects that they discuss at the World Economic Forum? Exhibit says no one cares. Well, I care. Let's start here. Remember we talked about transhumanism? Remember we talked about the year 2030? Remember that, y'all? Y'all remember that? Okay. Look at the video. Where are they at? They're at the World Economic Forum, right? Y'all see that in the background? They're at the World Economic Forum. In 6 years, 2030, they want you to be the technology. They want you to be connected to the cloud, not your phone, not your computer. You're going to be the technology. You're going to be connected to the cloud. They're going to be able to control you that way. This is what these devils are planning on doing. Watch.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form.
See, nobody's paying attention to this because we're worried about whether Jamie Foxx was cloned. We're watching a psyop with Donald Trump being arrested for the Capitol riots and a whole bunch of other crap that we're paying attention to and not paying attention to this. They have these meetings. They have them in the open, but Negroes ain't interested in this. But this is where they're shaping the course of the world in the next 10 years. If Christ don't come and deliver us, which is why we prophesy and we teach day and night to seal the 144,000 so God can send his son to get us the hell out of here because these devils are out of their mind. Watch.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face, glasses, and compute.
I'm going to go back. They're asking about the cell phone. They want to know, when are we moving away from... Everybody's addicted to your cell phone. Your cell phone is... All of our cell phones, I ain't going to just say y'all. All of our cell phones are practically glued to our hands. Can you envision a world where you don't have your cell phone? A lot of us can't even envision when you didn't have your cell phone 20 years ago. They're saying by 2030, they want to get rid of it. That's only a couple of years. Listen.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face, glasses, and when computing's all on the edge.
All right, 50 seconds. Who wants to answer quickly? I think it will go. It will. First of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
Did y'all hear that? The most common interface by 2030, if they have their way, won't be the cell phone. The interface of the cell phone, if they have their way, will be built into you. And you'll be connected to the cloud. And that's how they want to control people. Does that sound good to y'all? Does that sound funny, y'all? Let's go to the next slide. More on transhumanism. Now we're going to come back to this guy, Harari, that we saw earlier. Pay attention. Pay attention.
My favorite economic forum speaker of all time is this reptile, Klaus Schwab's top advisor, Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. Let's see what he has to say.
Data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
They want to hack and engineer organisms. What organisms do you think?
Elites hacking organisms and re-engineering life itself? Well, he's not talking about doing that to people, is he?
Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough, and nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the...
They want to hack people.
KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people.
Well, I guess he was talking about doing that to people. All people, to be specific.
And understand, this is not tinfoil hat stuff. The World Economic Forum I showed you, it's a real thing. All world leaders, for the most part, go there and speak and participate in this. This is what they talk about there openly. Say no Alex Jones stuff. This is what they plan on. This is the technology that they want to bring us to.
If indeed we succeed in hacking and engineering life, this will be not just the greatest revolution in the history of humanity. This will be the greatest revolution in biology since the very beginning of life 4 billion years ago. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed.
Not playing God, are you? Because that usually works out super well.
Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some God above the clouds.
Oh, you are playing God. Say more.
But our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces.
Yes.
My favorite economic forum speaker.
And they want you to be connected to that. Understand that.
These are the new driving forces of evolution.
Gosh, you wouldn't by chance have a plan in place on how to control people with your cloud technology, would you? And that plan isn't by chance already being implemented, is it?
Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale.
Oh, so you could implement it.
In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over.
Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? They're using C-19 to reset. Why do you think it meant? Why do you think we started at the beginning with Biden saying what? There's gonna be another pandemic. Yes. This is how they plan on resetting things. That's the point. That's the point.
That you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
He said that's over. It's over. Free will, choosing whatever you want to choose in the supermarket, it's over. Got to pray for Christ to come and deliver us, y'all. I'm telling you. And even more. 1 year before Donald Trump went to the World Economic Forum in 2017, this is Klaus Schwab speaking. Pay attention.
10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains. And I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain.
He didn't say maybe. He didn't say maybe you will. No, you will. You will comply.
10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains. And I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers.
So what I'm showing you, brothers and sisters, is the wickedness that Esau is delving into. This is why the Most High has to send his son. Right? Let's move on.
10 years when...
Give me 1 second now. 1 second. All right. Salaki, let's continue. One more video.
Created something called the robo-rat. That was the first biohybrid. So a biohybrid is when you mix animal and a machine. And people freaked out. They were like, you cannot put brain chips in rats and make them move through a maze.
Because it starts with the animals, guys. Remember, we just saw the video where Klaus Schwab said people are going to have that. Before you do it on people, they always start testing on animals first. And they've already been doing that.
Created something called the robo-rat. That was the first biohybrid. So a biohybrid is when you mix animal and a machine. And people freaked out. They were like, you cannot put brain chips in rats and make them move through a maze by a remote control, which is what they were doing. They now have pigeons that are mixed animal and machine. What? They created something called, there's a moth. So there's a Mandica sexta moth. That's what it's called. It's a large moth. And scientists put brain chips into the larva so that when it cocooned and became a flying moth, it had the chip built into its system, making it easier to integrate, and they could fly the moth around the lab. And that was a huge step. And this is now 4 years ago that I was interviewing these scientists.
Okay. All right. I think everybody gets the point. Gets the point. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, picking it up from verse 15. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, right? Because this stuff is wicked, man, which they commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. That's us. We complain to the Most High all the time. Like, we don't want to be here to go through these sort of things. Send your son. Destroy this place. Like we say when we pray, we say, Abad Babal. Destroy Babylon. This is wicked. We don't want our children, if these things are not implemented in our lifetime, we don't want our children to have to go through this, along with all the other agendas that are in the world. Verse 9, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them. and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. The Most High is going to deliver us, right? Now, let's watch one more video from Mr. Schwab, all right? Pay attention.
And we are just now where we move into the exponential phase. And I agree, artificial intelligence, but not only artificial intelligence, but also the metaverse, new space technologies, and I could go on and on, synthetic biology. Our life in 10 years from now will be completely different, very much affected, and who masters those technologies in some way will be the master of the world.
Did you guys hear that? Who masters all those technologies that I just ran down for you guys. Everything from the cell phone being implemented into you, transhumanism, all the stuff that they're talking about. The person that masters those technologies is the master of the world. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. That word churl is another way of saying somebody that's a scoundrel, a rogue, a villain, a rude person. Verse number 6. For the vile person shall speak villainy. All these technologies that they are implementing that started off sounding real good because you can get some type of robot to vacuum it can map your house and dust your floor and vacuum your floor without you having to do it. And you can have a robotic arm that puts your groceries away. And you can have a robot that can cook your food so you don't have to cook your food anymore. And robots to do your laundry and clean your house. That sounds good. But all that technology is really being implemented and created to control you. That's the point. It has villainous intentions. On the outside looking in, it seems like it's convenient. But they're not creating this for your convenience. They're creating this for their convenience because the person that masters those technologies is the master of the world. And they're saying these things openly in these summits. Openly. But the people are not paying attention because they're distracted by everything else. Let's move to the next slide. Verse 11. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and destroy all the land thereof. So the same way the Most High brought plagues against Egypt, the Most High is going to bring plagues against this modern day Egypt, which is America, right? And sometimes the Most High is going to allow Esau to do these things, and he's going to be the victim of his own quote-unquote genius. A lot of the things that he create are going to actually destroy him, and he doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know it. What is the ultimate plague that God is going to bring against this modern Egypt? This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 12. It says, and this is the plague wherewith the Lord shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. This is a scene from Terminator 2. You guys have all seen this before. This is a scene where she was actually envisioning nuclear destruction. The Most High is going to cause America to be destroyed and burned to the ground, according to the Bible. consuming away while standing on her feet. Eyes consuming away in her holes. Look at that. Look at that. Mm-hmm. That's literally what the scriptures is talking about. Literally. That's the future. That's the future of this place. God is going to send his son and the angels, and they're going to get busy, man. So real quick, guys, for the sake of time, I'm going to stop here. There's plenty more that I could have got into. We'll definitely continue on with it, but I got to stop here for the sake of time because there's a couple of things that I have to go over really quickly. So before I continue anymore, let me stop sharing my screen. Guys, if everything made sense to you, as always, in the chat, just put one in the chat. Let me know the lesson was good. Everything made sense. And we definitely will pick that lesson up again. But I do have a couple of things I need to go over really quickly. If the lesson made sense, just put one in the chat. Guys, let me know the lesson made sense. You guys were edified. Hopefully you guys saw and learned some new things. You can see how devious these demons are and what they have planned, right? So we have to pray to the Most High to send his son. Yeah. All right, Zahab, I'm gonna bring you back in real quick. So, and you sent me that now. I don't. What email did you send it to? Because
Priest Dan email.
That's not a good email. But okay, let me see. I can see. Hold on a second.
All right, text me the email. I will send it to you. Hey, Priest, why are you looking for that, man? This is so timely. Everything you talk about, according to the scriptures, right, is what the Most High is pushing us to wake our people up and pushing the whole world into, you know what I mean, fulfilling his prophecy. It's so much more that you touched a lot, but it's so much more that needed to be added to it also, man. This whole thing of global warming and climate change, that's all part of it too, right, Priest? Because that's the way I see it. That's a pagan ideology, man. The scriptures tell you that the earth abideth forever, right? So Esau lied to us, telling us about climate change. That's a lie. That's another way for them to control us. Another way is them pushing this whole thing that everybody got to get electric cars, right? That's another way to control you. You remember that? I think it was last year or the year before. This Edomite chick, she was an actress. I think her name was Anne Heche or something like that, right? And when she died, they said she had an accident. But when you watch the video of her car crashing, you could hear like the brakes like screeching all the way down the block, and her car drove straight into a house and exploded. And she didn't even die then. The point I'm trying to make is it was a quote unquote electric car. They could control the electric cars, right? So if you're the type of person you want to speak out against this wicked system, right? They could just shut your car off, or they could take control of your car just like a drone, and they could run it off the bridge, this, that, the third. So there's so many different ways and so many things that, you know what I mean, these evil, mischievous devils, man, you know what I mean, to push us into this one world society. Go ahead, King.
No, I was agreeing there. There's so much stuff. Like I said, this could be a 10-part lesson. I know some people with Teslas that was telling me that they have problems with the company, or they got shut down from being able to charge the car. Like some situation happened with like a payment or something, and they couldn't even charge the car. It's crazy. They can control everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, Con.
Right.
And you go ahead, King.
No, go ahead.
Nah, you got it. You got the file?
Yeah, I got the file. Hold on a second.
All right, Con.
All right, family. So real quick, as a matter of fact, Zab, why don't you go ahead and introduce the clip that I'm gonna play and tell people exactly what's going down, and then I'll go ahead and play the clip for them.
All right, Con family. So we over here at Lines of Israel, right? We made a movie, right? The movie's called Karagma. I'm pretty sure some of y'all heard about it. If not, pretty much what the movie's about, it's about the mark of the beast and end time prophecies, pretty much what the priest was going over, right? We did a short film about it as far as how it would affect us as Israel in these last days, right? Scriptures in the book of Ezra talk about a man not being able to go from town to town. We saw that during the last pandemic, right? In the movie, we touch on that. We touch on financial catastrophe where the money system gets shut down. We try to weave a few things that's in the scriptures prophecy into a short film. And the name of the film is called Charagma. So we've been working on this project for a few years with the help of priests, Lines of Israel, and a few other Israelite congregations and people and whatnot. And we finally got the film done. We also got a documentary we're about to premiere. But the first thing we're going to premiere is the short film. And that's going to be September 2nd. If you're in New York, you're in Brooklyn, come through. We're going to have it in Brooklyn at Nicholas Bookstore. If not, you can stream it. You can watch it for free. It's going to be on Messiah TV. It's going to be on Hebrews to Negroes TV. It's going to be on Maccabees TV. So everybody can watch this. It's a short film. We're also going to have a presentation by Priest and General Shah, also with Ron Dalton. So the clip you're about to watch is just pretty much, it's just a promo clip letting you know where it's going to be at, the date, so on and so forth. If you haven't seen the real trailer, go to my website, thecharagma.com, or go to my YouTube page, Maroon Warrior Pictures.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. It's Jacob's time now. Yeah. Rise. Get it. Yeah. I was at work when I wrote this. I got my mind on the kingdom. I gotta stay focused. We gotta give them the hope of Mashiach, cause I know they feeling so hopeless. Babylon about to pass away, so now I'ma give them they roses. The revelation won't be televised. You see the roar burning in my eyes. The word of Abba got me energized. Most of my people, they still hypnotized. I feel like Elijah going.
All right. All praise to the Most High for that. All praise to the Most High for that. So again, if you're looking at the screen, you guys can see Nicholas, Brooklyn, 1396 Fulton Street, September 2nd at 8 p.m. We will be premiering the short film Charagma. All praise to the Most High. The brother worked really hard on this film. You know what I'm saying? A lot of ups and downs, but the job got done. You know what I'm saying? And now, we feel like a weight has been lifted. We want to give it to the nation. And we already plotting on the next projects that we're going to do if it be the Most High's will. So all praise to the Most High. If you're in the New York area, New Jersey, Connecticut, you know what I'm saying? Come on out, man. Pennsylvania, come on out, man. I'm going to shout my guys Rum Gadal out, AOC, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be in the building, et cetera, et cetera. House of David can come through. HOI can come through if they want to come through. Any camps in the area that want to come through live and check out the short film in person, as well as the presentation myself and General Hashar are going to make. So we look forward to seeing y'all there. And if you can't make it, the film will be on Messiah TV, Hebrews to Negroes TV, Maccabees TV, and of course the website, the Charagma. We definitely appreciate. Can y'all hear me? Hey, shalom, y'all. So hopefully you guys saw that, and I definitely hope to see some of you brothers and sisters in the house that day for sure. Okay. All right. All praise to the Most High for that. Let me remove that from the studio real quick and go on to the next thing. Okay. Real quick. Where am I at? Shalom, brothers. It's your brother, Priest Danyaahla, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV, with a special announcement. In 2021, the Lines of Israel instituted a program called the Future Leaders Academy. And what that was for people that were interested in joining the body, it was a preparation course, a crash course for 6 months in biblical archaeology, anthropology, history, and of course, Bible breakdowns. Well, on Sunday, September 17th, 2023, the Lines of Israel will be initiating our 4th Future Leader Academy, teaching the same things: biblical archaeology, history, anthropology, and Bible breakdowns, a preparation crash course in order for us to be able to defend the gospel against the world. The deadline for you brothers that are interested in joining the academy is Monday, September 4th. Monday, September 4th. In order to join the academy, please contact the email at the bottom of your screen, and one of the captains will definitely get back to you. The Bible says that we should pray that the Most High sends forth laborers. The harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few, and we should pray that God sends forth laborers. So I pray that somebody listening to this is interested in joining the fight. Email us at joinloy149@gmail.com. It's your brother Priest Danyaahla. All right. So, Slocky, I got to bring Zahab back in. I don't know. Wait, hold on a second. What happened? But nevertheless, yeah. So that's it, brothers and sisters. Hopefully, anybody that's interested, just be sure to hit us on the email. Let us know that you want to do the academy, and the captain will definitely get back to y'all. I definitely appreciate all you brothers and sisters that have been listening in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys definitely share the video. We're here every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Maccabeestv with our lessons. We definitely are going to be going. And by the way, in the academy, I'm telling you guys now, I got new lessons that I've never taught nowhere before. There's new lessons, groundbreaking lessons that have never been taught before that I'm going to be doing in this academy. So every time I do an academy, I step it up, and I really get to go into my bag, because now I ain't got to worry about people that can't follow along. If you're doing the academy, that means you're ready to follow along. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for us, brothers and sisters. We'll be here again next week, same time, same channel. All right. Hey, Zab, you got something? Came off mute.
Yeah, not only if you want to watch the academy, also you want to be a part of Lines of Israel. Reach out to us, man. We need workers, man. We need soldiers in the field, right? Boots on the ground. So if you want to be a part of Lines of Israel, let us know.
All right, family. All praise to the Most High. We'll see you again here next week, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Maccabeestv. It's your brother Priest Danyaahla, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabeestv. And if you have not hit the like button, if you have not supported the channel, you need to repent and believe the gospel. And we're going to take it out with our brothers from Rum Gadal. Shout out my man Panah for an excellent video. We'll see you guys next week. Shalom.
Shout out to all my high exalted warriors, man. Rum Gadal Gabarian. Run. War. They said they got the time, boys, say no more. Look up to the sky for a flaming sword. It's no surprise we who they hating on. Ancient wall, break them all, then we praise our Lord. See we them kings, we coming back. Take everything, make it a stack. Ancient of days, painting the map. Trusting the king, holy and black. Twisting their brain, but it's a fact. This is the way, killing the chat. They are Josiah, drill them to ash. You'll see, one day, break down that cocaine. Diablo, jewelry, all day. Propane, follows, coonies, sellouts. You'll be sorrow. Nigga, they hate these promises. You'll be swallowed. It was getting scary. Putting their head in the cemetery. By what they feed or you getting buried. Never been sweeter than Ben and Jerry's. Pray to the heavens, I'm military. Child of the east in my city near me. Drinking the grape cause I'm getting weary. Yahweh Ha'abba, the glory glaring. War.
They say they got that time, boys, say no more. Look up to the sky for that flaming sword. They done woke a lion, boy, we David's boys. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war.
I'm running up. Inches of freak, I ain't blunted up. Poured up my heart in the jungle love. The curses of Jake were the mother, bro. Gave me a sword, I was Gideon. Hiding our face, couldn't cover up. It's they day of oblivion. Y'all see me on main and I'm cutting up. Ain't no gang when you're on me. Yeah, them generals know me. Never no cream in the coffee. Cherub beaming, we soaring. Blue beaming, we zoning. It's just a thief in the night. And we Ezekiel bright. But didn't we give him a warning? Shemaiah Shallah. Who the must recall? It be that Ram Gadar. Kodash Ha'abah. Russian Kwambaya. Latizayawan. Coming from the heart. Till I join the morning. Don't need opinions, truthfully. Boy, this bigger than you and me. Seeking the book and you'll see that predestined jubilee. And my kingdom of heaven be rooted deep. And I ain't repping it usually. It's in the blood for mutiny. We bringing the weapon and you gon' see war.
They say they got that time, boy, say no more. Look up to the sky for that flaming sword. They done woke a lion, boy, we Davis boys. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war. Look into our eyes, trust we play with war.
Madia Shemaya Shirala Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Echad Aman